everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1, or more aptly, Burnley 0, Fabinho 1. What a superstar performance once again from the big, beautiful, baldy Brazilian man that we love so much at the heart of Liverpool's midfield. Not a game that we're going to that will stick long in the memory for anyone but for die-hard Fabinho fans, of course. Hard afternoon's football in a torrentially wet, gale force wind blowing Turf Moor stadium. Already a difficult place to go to, particularly given their style of football and the way they play and all the things that everyone knows via osmosis about Burnley as a, football club. People and all that kind of stuff. It's a hard place to go, and Liverpool have largely gotten the measure of Burnley in recent years under Jurgen Klopp. But it was a bit of a throwback football match, and again, very much, I think, as a direct result of the weather conditions, hard to go there. There was a moment where, actually leading up to Liverpool's goal, where Trent Alexander-Arnold goes to take the corner, the ball blows out of the quadrant, and the corner flag itself, the entire flag, the stick and all, is almost horizontal in his way, so we can't actually run up and strike the ball anyway. Liverpool get the goal in the end. It's a flick on from Sadio Mane, and Fabinho gets 2 bites of the cherry to get it force it past Nick Pope in the end, and that is the decisive goal in the game. Liverpool dominant pretty much throughout, and a lot of the dangerous moments that Burnley craft that you remember in that match actually don't count anyway because they come from offside situations. So yeah, by and large, in the cold light of day, and I'm probably on a rewatch knowing these things, Liverpool not vintage, not carving Burnley apart time after time, but being pretty ruthless in the match, all told. Right, it's time for your reactions now to that game. If you're a member here on YouTube, you can use the live chat. If you want to send a tweet to us, you can do as well. Ross has put a reactions tweet out. It's got a nice little picture over there. You can get onto that at the Redmen TV. And if you're a club legend on Redmen Plus, you can use the Discord chat there as well. If you want to speak to me, do tag Mate in there, just so I largely know you're talking to me. But yeah, there's plenty of you guys doing that already, so let's fly through them right now. Kieran Orr live here on YouTube. Mate, it wasn't pretty, but it's a good 3 points given the way the game went, and that's another clean sheet too. Like Klopp says, it's better to win 8 games 1-0 than one time 8-0. Yes, and that ties into what we talked about, the sort of ruthlessness, really, the ruthlessness that Liverpool have had and they've developed in these football matches. This is far more title winning Liverpool than it has been Liverpool of this season, where we've been a little fragile, and Burnley tried a lot of the tricks that have worked against us this season. Maybe they lack the personnel, certainly lacking the pace in the attacking areas, but Weghorst gave Liverpool a good old game there, gave a real physical tussle, and they tried to stick balls in behind, and they had a couple of little moments, of course, but yeah, Liverpool just resolute. Van Dijk brilliant, Matip brilliant, and the goalie absolutely brilliant in behind that as well, to give them very, very little in the way of any sort of notes of encouragement in the football match. So, and I completely agree with that. Look, it would have been nice for this week for us to just get back on the horse and start smashing teams 3-0, but really, I think Klopp referenced the 12 games of football between now and the next international break. I'd rather let's just win all of them. I don't really care how we do, and I'm sure every Liverpool fan will say that. But yeah, I agree with that notion. Just win. I don't care. I don't care what strain it puts on my heart. Just win, and we'll see where we stand come the end of that. Tony Blakeway. Dreadful game for the neutral, and not much better as a fan, but I'll take 3 points all day long, especially against them, especially in those conditions. Must have been awful for you in the ground, Paul. Yeah, me and Steve were definitely in the ground for that one. Yeah, high up in our own little portable studio at the back of Turf Moor. We've even legged it back to our studio. It looks the same, sounds the same, stream quality's the same. Yeah, we've managed to get back from Turf Moor just in time to do this show. Not to do with the fact that it was on a stream and not televised in England. Yeah, dreadful game for the neutral. Great. I'm here all day for that. I'm not interested in Liverpool playing games that neutrals love. We've had this a bit too much. I mentioned this on the final whistle. Gary Neville has been waxing lyrical about Liverpool football matches too much, and that needs to end. Unless he's saying hard-fought, ground-out win for Liverpool. I don't want to hear him say another nice word about Liverpool football matches, because we've been too nice. We've been too kind to opposition teams, giving them too many goals, giving them too many chances, and Liverpool didn't do that today. They were just as horrible and just as nasty and gnarly as Burnley. We just had that extra quality when it was required. We beat them at their own game, and that's the beauty beauty of this Liverpool, and that's why I mean it's very Liverpool title winning Liverpool, is that they can beat you in any way you want. What type of game do you want? Do you want a scrap? We'll beat you in a scrap. Do you want to play a wonderful brand of free-flowing, end-to-end NBA Jam style exciting game? We'll do you in that way as well. Do you want to win it by a set piece? We'll beat you in that way. Yeah, this Liverpool team have got the lot. And the apps is a win, and we continue our climb up the Premier League, keeping hot on the heels of City. Big game to focus on now in midweek. Champions League nights are back. Exactly, these games, because of the way the league's gone, we know it's not over. But I think Klopp's right to sort of downplay, and all the players will be downplaying it. Look, City, it's the title is City's to lose. It is. City need to lose points for Liverpool to even have a sniff, even have the fractional chance of winning the league. But because of that, your focus is definitely the League Cup final. You've got a big FA Cup game coming up as well. Obviously, getting through that in the last round as well was a focus for a short time. And then you've got the Champions League. Though they're all competitions that it's in Liverpool's hands. FA Cup, League Cup and Champions League, it's in Liverpool's hands, because if Liverpool win every game that they play, they will win those trophies. That's not the case in the Premier League. So that's why it was extra special and extra important to get back up and running. And now they get to go back in and enjoy yourself now. San Siro, Inter Milan, big Champions League night, absolutely amazing. We have got Andy Absent, safe trip back from Turf Moor. Yeah, we managed to make that one back all right. Brian Glow, not our best game, but hopefully the last at Turf Moor for a while. 3 points is what we needed to keep pace, and we got it. Happy to see Sadio back. Yeah, made up for Sadio Mane. A decent game, yeah, and decent run out, and Liverpool getting again just to rotate things, keep things fresh. These last few games have been less about, I think, Liverpool being at the best and making sure that we're getting all the plates spun back to the speed where everyone's up to speed, so you can make 2, 3, 4 changes in a football match, game to game, and be brilliant in every single one of them. And that's what these first 3 games back have been for us, really. Well, 2 games back, 3 games back now, yeah. Of course, FA Cup and two league games. And in that regard, yeah, Mane's back in now, Salah's back in, Jota's had a little bit of a rest, Bobby's had some minutes where he really needed to get up to speed, and not necessarily a great Bobby Firmino performance, but you'll see the benefits of that in weeks to come when you do come in and you do get a good game. It's because we've played him into match sharpness, and again, rotating the midfield, it bodes exceptionally well, really, doesn't it? Patanic. As much as we love our Bobby Dazzler, we all have to agree that he's not a starter anymore. Still valuable to us as a sub. Yeah, yes and no, but here's the thing: it's a squad. We've got a squad system. You don't go and buy players to play, and then you end up in the same situation where you've just got 3 lads who play every single game. And that's how we've ended up in a situation where we're like, oh God, we need someone to rotate Salah and Firmino and Mane. We're running them into the ground. We've now got 5 basically, if not exactly world-class, borderline world-class options for 3, plus 2 or 3 more really good, useful options as well. Bobby Firmino is good enough to be a starter for Liverpool. He might not be in Liverpool's best 11 anymore, which I think is the point you're kind of making there, and I think that's fair. I think the best front 3 is Mane, Jota and Salah at this moment, and look, Diaz might well break into that, of course, in the coming weeks, months and years, but great. It kind of point I'm driving at is, who's asked? What it means is that if Jota is able to start and win the game for us against Inter Milan in midweek, then that's what Bobby's done. Bobby's gone into a team and helped us win a game of football, and then that allows us to win the next game of football. That's the squad system. That's a little bit of a mental shift I think we all need, is that you can't put your best 11 out every week. You don't need to. There's argument that we actually probably put a slightly better team than we needed to in that game, but we've got so many good players now, and they all need minutes. We're going to have to manage. It's a new way of watching Liverpool. It's a new way of analysing Liverpool. But it's great because I love all of these squad members. It means we get to watch more of them. There's no more lads being left out in the cold. All of your favourite players are going to play. They might just not play as many minutes as we're used to seeing, but that's good. Hopefully that just means that we're not having all of our best players dead. dead come the run into the season. That would be very nice indeed. Neverman is here also says, get better, Ross. Yeah, much love to Ross Chanley as well, our social media manager who's down with coronavirus at the moment and doing a stellar job from home when he should just be recuperating because he's a workaholic and he needs looking after. So yeah, send him some love, please, guys. That'd be great. Danny Donovan with the super chat. Very drab performance, but 3 points is all that matters. Sorry to say, but Firmino has gone to utter rubbish. Also, wish Naby was more consistent. Yeah, again, I won't get dragged in on the Bobby Firmino stuff. He's fine. The point about Bobby Firmino is that he's not played a lot of football for Liverpool this season, so he needs games. And that really wasn't the game for Firmino. I agree with a lot of the last. I think it probably was a game for Jota, but we're getting to the point where what's not the game for Jota? But we need to make sure that we are resting in rotation, and Jota's played a lot of football. He carried the burden for us when the lads were at AFCON, so we need to make sure, because we can't afford to lose him, because he's so good. He's so good. And yeah, I thought Bobby was fine. And Naby, I thought a really good performance from Naby as well. We'll have more chat around him. And both of those actually on the Instant Match Reaction later on. Never mind, ask, mate. Rodgers or Moyes in a slap fight? Ooh. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you reckon? I can't answer that one. I'll give it to Brendan because he's a former Liverpool manager, but I actually think in a fight Moyes would beat Brendan. I think he probably would. Yeah, let's head over to Twitter and see what we got over there. I mean, Rebecca Tavares, Mrs. Fabinho, oh my Fab, you are fabulous. Jalissa Castrodale says, nervy win. Glad to be done with them for the season. Hope the worms taste good in the championship, Sean. Dean Foley, this is always going to be hard. That bloody weather and Weghorst being a threat. The boys stuck at it. Very professional defensive display in the second half. Fabinho, more goals this year than the merchants onto Inter. Need to be at our absolute best. Yeah, hilarious. John Maxwell, done it on a wet afternoon in Burnley. Never going to be pretty today, but it's 3 points upwards and onwards. And KJ Mills saying, men of the match has to go to our high line. Yeah, a lot of analysis over the high line stuff, because I said this during commentary. People have got to have something to talk about with Liverpool, and the two talking points that you'll see now will continue to be the high line, because it feels like it's shakier than it is, because the way the offside decisions go, they leave it to run until like they have a shot, and then they go, oh no, sorry, by the way, it was offside. Brilliant. Well, we've just brought our goalkeeper into action into a potentially like injury-filled situation, so you feel like the defensive line is shakier than it is, and it's not. Liverpool are the best at doing it, or certainly up there, I think, between them and Man City in terms of where they actually play their football. And it contributes towards all the good. You can't have the good stuff that Liverpool down the other end without having the high line. It's part of the whole system in which Liverpool play. You can't go, we'll just play 20 yards deeper, because it doesn't work like that, unfortunately, for people who need that to not be in their lives. And the other thing that we'll talk about is, of course, all the players who are not playing. Like, or, you know, when someone gets rushed, so people making Bobby Firmino an issue because Jota's not playing, because we now love Jota more than Firmino because he scored a few more goals recently. They'll be the talking points, because there's very little else to talk about when Liverpool are this good, with this many good players, with this much, you know, success behind them, and these many different ways of winning. There has to be talking points, because you can't just go, yeah, Liverpool were boss, and then sit there in silence and watch them be boss. You can do, by the way. That's a perfectly fine way to watch Liverpool. John Duest says, I don't know who would be man of the match. I think every single player was a 6.8. Wow. No one bad, no one great. A 6.8. I don't think I've ever heard anyone receive a 6.8 rating before. Like, I love the fact he went, yeah, I'd have to say that across the board, everyone was definitely 100% a 6.8 rating. Go ahead. Thanks, John. Sure, why not? I don't know. I think Fabinho was probably an 8 or a 9, if I'm being honest. I thought everything he did defensively was almost impeccable. He scores the winning goal. He turned defence to attack a number of times. I thought he was good. I thought Keita was above the norm, above the average in terms of performance. Thought same for Thiago when he came on. Van Dijk and Matip were absolutely imperious at the back. So as far as defensive resolution goes, that's more than a 6.8. I think that's, you're talking 8 some more for them as defenders. Alisson the same. So yeah, I thought Robbo had a good game as well. Trent middling. The only player who I think really struggled on the day was Henderson, and the fact that he goes off, effectively injured, although obviously not quite, kind of spoke to his afternoon really. But yeah, by and large, I thought everyone was fine. They just weren't, the attacking players weren't like 8s and 9s and 10s because they didn't score goals, but they did a lot of the generally right stuff. Liverpool were the better team. They were just the much better team than Burnley on the day. Anyway, right, let's go to Club Legends. Wow, we got tons of comments from you guys. Thank you so much. Scott T says a win's a win. On to the next one. Marshall, I'm happy we came with 3 points against Burnley. The ref was horrible. The ref and horrible weather. That was just a Freudian slip from me on Martin Atkinson there. Never going to be easy on the eye, but got the job done. Josh Hall, ugly performances. Take the points and go again versus Inter midweek. Take the points and go to bed forgetting February the 13th, 2022 ever happened, and the points came out of nowhere, says Jack. Absolutely. Jith saying passing was off from a lot of players, which showed why we didn't really create anything, but we got the win. Never really looked like we were going to concede. Van Dijk, Matip, Fabinho, Alisson, really hard unit to break through when they play like that. When the conditions are like that, it's almost impossible to play your best football as well. Absolutely. Martin, LFC 123, dogged performance, but didn't look like losing it. Fabinho, man of the match. On to Inter now. Come on, Redmen. Rushi, one step closer to relegating Burnley is enough for me. Happy with the 3 points, and it shows Liverpool are starting to turn into a bit of a machine. Pretty much flawless January without Mane and Salah, and now we're churning out wins even though we aren't playing well. Look forward towards the UCL, and if we can win playing like that, not worried about playing anyone at full steam, says Theo here. Yeah, absolutely brilliant comment from all that. Yeah, again, these are encouraging things. I said, if Liverpool aren't top of the league, and I know that, but Liverpool are in a title race. They are in the last 16 of the Champions League, doing the final of the League Cup, and they're in the 5th round or whatever of the FA Cup at this point. They're going along all right. Not every game's going to be one of those right home, get the DVD pressed, get the T-shirts made right now, bring your family around and rewatch the full 90 minutes kind of things. You do just need to win football matches sometimes, and because Liverpool are fighting on so many fronts, we're going to have to win ugly a few times along the way. And I haven't just done a series of podcasts which are going to be coming up on Redmen Plus about every one of Liverpool's 8 League Cup wins. And it's fascinating researching them, because particularly the 80s, we did 4 back-to-back, and that's pretty much the best Liverpool team of all time. They win the European Cup in 81. They win, I think, 2 or 3 league titles in that time, and they win 4 League Cups. And it's how they didn't always steamroll at every team. There were a lot of very tight wins in that. And this was a very old school Liverpool win. They had that game sewn up. They didn't need to throw the kitchen sink at it. They just needed to see it out. Burnley let them have the ball, so they kept the ball. And when an opportunity afforded itself, they tried the best to make something happen. And we got into some dangerous positions. But yeah, it was just a measured, controlled win for Liverpool. It would have been more relaxing if they got the other win. But ultimately, again, in 1819 and 1920, we did just win by 1 goal a lot of times in that. And that was called ruthlessness. And Liverpool need to get this into the heads of opponents, that they're ruthless and you're not going to have a sniff. And you're going to be in a 95-minute war. And we're probably almost certainly going to beat you. And if you're not at your best, we'll beat you really well as well. But even if you are at your best, we're just going to beat you regardless. And if you can go and do that against Burnley in those weather conditions, then that's a massive note of encouragement, more than it would have been just going and comfortably battering them. I think there's a real hardiness there, a real battle hardness that comes with that I think will stand us in better stead for the weeks and months to come. Last few live comments here on YouTube, so get them in quickly if you want me to read through those. Key to start is not the best performance. Conditions look terrible, and the ref was a shithouse. Good 3 points. We're with Canate, says JC, Elliott, Shimikas, Diaz, Thiago. We look like we have stronger depth, and the future is looking bright. Exactly. I mean, like, again, Gomez, Jones, Minamino and Origi don't even make the matchday squad today. And those players have all, with the exception of Gomez, who doesn't score for Liverpool, 3 of those lads have all won football matches for Liverpool with their goals, and important goals, I think, particularly in cup games, but to the point, they have done, and they didn't even make the matchday squad today. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous how good we are at the minute. Neverman's backing Brendan Rodgers in the slap fight, but I've liked Moyes ever since Suarez did the dive in front of him and he laughed. Yeah, I must admit he did get a little bit of additional credit there for winding Suarez up to the point when he did one of the greatest goal celebrations of all time and then taking it in reasonable humour. But yeah, and Neverman today, Alisson was man of the match, by the way. Yes, who was your man of the match in that game? Let us know in the comments section or tweet us at the Redmen TV. That is us for now. Don't forget though, go go and sign up to Redmen Plus. We're going to be live in about half an hour. Steve and I doing a real deep dive conversation, 20 to 25 minutes, talking about this match and some of the fallout from it and what it means for Liverpool, and some more focus on individual player performances. So we'll talk about Fabinho, we'll talk maybe a bit more about Firmino, about Andy Rowe, whoever you want us to talk about, we will talk about them. And then the final word will come on Monday morning at 10:30. So more analysis, get onto Redmen Plus, and go to redmentv.com, click that big yellow join today button on the right hand side, and join us live or after the fact in podcast form for the instant match reaction. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. You are wonderful. Liverpool are wonderful. Burnley are not, but it's okay because they're probably getting relegated. All the best.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that show. We are on the countdown to the League Cup final. Liverpool playing Chelsea at the end of February. And if you want to get some amazing content around that game, we have got you covered.
We have got exclusive interviews and documentaries all available in video and podcast form. So if you want to listen to us on the go, we have got you sorted.
Yeah, so do head on over to theredmentv.com, join up to Redmen Plus, and hopefully get yourselves in the mood for when Liverpool win the League Cup at Wembley.